now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run, the Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, go ahead, hit us up, 219-413-9405. And of course, we will play your take back on our next episode. And shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code TheRunPodcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I don't know about you, but football season is here, and I'm going to some games. So I'm going to create that account and then use the promo code. But anyway, look, man, I'm joined by a special guest today, Eric Vincent, Clutch Points writer for Detroit Sports. He's here to talk about the Lions with me. What's going on with you, Eric?
Hanging in there, man. It was a tough week too for us over here in Detroit, but I'm bearing through. I think I'm calming down a little bit more from yesterday, but
okay.
Happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course, bro. I'm glad to have you. And hey, look, man, we gonna see how much you really calmed down, because I wouldn't be me if I wasn't a little bit of an antagonist. So I ain't gonna sit here and cap to you, but
I know where your ties are. I'm ready for it. I know.
Yeah, you know what type of time I'm on, bro. You know what time I'm always on when it comes to this. So look, I'm going to hit you right off the back, bro. I'm going to say this, man. Lions, they had more rushing yards. They had more passing yards. They had more possession of the ball. They had more yards per pass. They had total yards, and they had an advantage in total yards all above. So how the hell did they lose this game? How?
This was not the one that was supposed to get away from them. They should be 2-0 as they sit right now. And it's so disappointing. It only can fall on two people. It really can only fall on Jared Goff and Ben Johnson. They were both absolutely horrible. Really, to me, throughout the whole game, Jared Goff starts the first drive with a pick to Jameson Williams. And then after that, they were just running a lot of plays that didn't make sense. Goff threw the ball 55 times, and it was basically a one-score game the whole time. If you throw in that many times, that means you're trying to play catch-up from multiple scores down. Goff throwing the ball 55 times when that is not his game, and when you have, to me, the best two-headed rushing attack in football, the best O-line in football, the Bucs had just lost their best D tackle, and you can't pound the ball inside or at least balance it out a little bit, I got to put it all on Goff and Ben Johnson. To me, I've been saying for a while, Ben Johnson is not what people think he is. He is smart. He is very creative. Same with Jared Goff. He's good and he's functional under this offense with their resources, but I think they get a little too much credit for what they do. I understand through the numbers they are very good, but they don't please me enough for what we need in this team. You can't have damn near 500 yards and put up 16 points, bro. It's no excuse for that. So I'm mad again.
Ooh, okay, so that's kind of crazy. I wasn't expecting the Ben Johnson call out here. I'll say that right off the bat. I wasn't expecting that. Jared Goff, I can understand it, and I partially agree with you on the Ben Johnson. There was some questionable calls there of why in my head, I'm wondering, okay, well, why the hell aren't we going to Jamar Gibbs and Montgomery way more? Since we seen that's how the Lions literally handed it to the Rams at the end of the game. They just put belt to ass and just started going. I mean, it was bad. They literally played power football and won the game. So I was expecting the Lions to show a little bit more of that going into that Tampa Bay game, but it seemed like it was more of a duel to try and outpass the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I kind of agree on the whole Ben Johnson thing, but since you brought up Jared Goff, did he get outplayed by Baker Mayfield?
Sadly, no, he didn't.
No.
Goff actually was 34, 55, 307 yards. Unfortunately, didn't get in the end zone at all. And they were 1 from 7 in the red zone. That's where they really struggled the entire game, was when they got into the red zone. They found ways to move the ball, and then they would stall out. Or Goff would make some bad throws, make some bad reads when he gets a little bit of pressure. He didn't get outplayed. The mantra in Detroit, as all Lions fans know, is SOL. same old Lions. That applies when you find ways to lose when you ain't got no damn business of losing. I know we hate that term out here, but this was absolutely an SOL type of moment for the Detroit Lions. You can't outgain your opponent that many yards. You can't push the ball as well as you did. You can't waste a masterclass performance by Aiden Hutchinson with damn near 5 sacks, and you still lose the game by 4 points in your own building. If you would have lost it, it was, they got picked apart by the offense of the Bucs, or you just couldn't stop them on the ground, I would get it. But they stopped them on the run. Baker didn't really get super loose with a lot of his throws. He kind of got a little lucky with some of them. And they just missed on a couple different plays on defense. I'm not even mad at the defense. I put it solely on the offense for not taking advantage of the resources they had, not playing the proper players in certain situations, like David Montgomery, who should have been used way more often. Absolutely. It was just so many stupid mistakes that they had no business making, especially with the kind of credit those guys get. So it was very disappointing on the offense all around. I
think the offense definitely had we can agree on this. The defense for sure kept the Lions in the game. Like 100%. Hutchinson, he's made a strong case for Defensive Player of the Year. Like that is obvious for sure. For anybody who watched the game, for anybody who's been following the Lions at all, it was clear that Hutchinson, he came down hard on Baker Mayfield. Pause. That was crazy, but he did his thing. He did his thing in this game. And I have to say, bro, Jared Goff got outplayed. I think at the end of the day, Jared Goff got outplayed because watching the hell that Baker Mayfield had to go through and the adversity he had to go through against that Lions defensive pass rush was just insane. He didn't get nervous. He didn't buckle up. He didn't tighten up and start throwing crazy interceptions or throwing bad passes. He still stayed calm. He took a couple sacks like a man, pause, but he also stayed in the game and started dotting up and played good when he needed to. We seen him get out the pocket. He hit a couple people with some juke moves and stuff. I'm like, is this Baker Mayfield or I don't know. I'm like, who is this dude? I'm like, who is this dude for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? So it was, to me, I thought Baker Mayfield played a clean game. He was very decisive, and ultimately it does come down to Ben Johnson getting out-coached. And I think the Lions sideline got outcoached as a whole, because even if you look at the play before half, that was a crazy transition there, because the Lions, they had a clear advantage going into the half. They could have kicked the field goal and it would have helped them out. Got another 3 points on the board, and then now we're looking at a completely different situation at the end of the game. So I got to hear. I know this had you a little frustrated on that. How should they have ended that half in terms of trying to get close to get a field goal, but the 10-second runoff and all of that stuff? What's your thoughts on that part?
Super Bowl teams can't make that mistake. If you practice 2-minute drills, if you are as disciplined as you preach you are, if you are ready for those expectations of being looked at and treated like one of the elite teams in the NFL, you can't make that mistake. I respect Dan Campbell for owning it and say, hey, that's on me. They got to play through it. I put them in a tough spot. Now we got to go play ball. And I respect that and I appreciate that. But yeah, just those kind of mistakes can't be made, man. And I'll even agree with you and just say the terms of Jared Goff being outplayed, because even if it's outside the numbers, sometimes you can win by just not making the stupid play that puts you in trouble. So absolutely. Yeah, Baker didn't make a ton of splash plays. He just did a couple little nice things. He took care of the ball to the best of his abilities outside of one pick to Brian Branch. Outside of that, he played, like you said, a clean game, made some good plays on offense, and showed that he could still be productive enough even without being a gunslinger throwing the ball 30, 50 times a game. Again, I'll never understand throwing it 55 times with Jared Goff, who's a game manager. I've been saying it for years.
That's facts.
Stick to it. He's a fine player. He's serviceable for what they need, but he is still a game manager at the end of the day, and they need to realize that.
That's facts, bro. And I again, like you said, man, I mean, I thought they could have leaned on Gibbs and Montgomery just a little bit more. And then, bro, it's a true luxury to have two backs that are that talented, that can catch, that can run, that can block. That is a true gift. And I know Lions, it's been that talk all offseason about, oh, man, we need a one last receiver to really complete the offense. I mean, you can really throw Gibbs in that slot if you need to and use him. Kind of how we seen the Saints use Alvin Kamara, kind of how we seen the Chiefs use Tyreek Hill, and how the Dolphins use Tyreek Hill. You can kind of put that guy anywhere, and Jamar Gibbs is still going to go off. So, I mean, I would have loved to seen that from the Lions, but, I mean, above all, it's just weird. So let's transition, though. Let's transition, because we know, hey, the L is already soaked in. The Lions, hey, 1-1. It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, it was a good game above all, but I mean, looking ahead next week, y'all play the Cardinals. This is about to be kind of crazy. Cardinals just slapped up 41 against the Rams. I'm just a firm believer. 41 points is a lot of points out in football. It's a lot of points. I don't care if the team is bad, injured, sorry, trash, good, bad. It does not matter. 41 points is a lot of points in football in general. So with the Lions, clearly a top tier defense playing against a hot Arizona Cardinals team. What's your thoughts heading into this week?
They better be prepared. This is not going to be an easy game. I think this could be looked at as a trap game. People may have the Lions as winning on paper, but this is not going to be easy. The Lions historically struggle against mobile quarterbacks, and Kyler Murray is the focal point of that franchise. So they're going to have to be ready. He likes playing schoolyard football. Even if you look at the past 2 games for the Lions where they played against Matthew Stafford, who's a statue essentially in the pocket, and Baker Mayfield. Neither of them are considered mobile quarterbacks, and they were able to evade pressure and get away from sacks. Even though the Lions put Baker down, 5 or 6 times, you still could have had him at maybe 8, 9, or 10 if you wrap him up and put him down. And they just weren't able to complete some of those plays, which gave them extra life because he was completing some dots after that to Chris Godwin down the field. So this is not going to be easy. Marvin Harrison Jr. is looking well above advertised in that offense. James Conner, who's I think very complimentary to Kyler's skill set as a running quarterback. The Lions have done a very good job against the run, but when you have a mobile quarterback to go with it, I think that's going to be their biggest challenge in terms of how they respond. So this isn't going to be easy. Again, they got to be prepared. They're dealing with some injuries. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a last-second injury in the fourth quarter in the last drive that he's dealing with. Penei Sewell played on a bad ankle. Like, they had some stuff that they've had to deal with. So this is not one of the games you need to sleep on. I think with their bye week coming up in 2 weeks, they need to go into that bye week 3-1. This is a must-win game. You don't want to be behind 500 at this point. You want to keep building that momentum, especially in the NFC North where teams that don't have no business winning are winning. Vikings are 2-0, and it blows my mind. It's really bad.
That is crazy.
So they need to get focused. They need to be ready. They need to be prepared for a very hungry and a very motivating Arizona Cardinals team.
So the game is going to be in Arizona, too, which is also going to add to the difficulty of this game. And I got to read some of this because it's mind-blowing. And this is honestly my first time looking at everything that the Cardinals did numbers-wise. I've seen all the highlights they had against the Rams. Kyler Murray, we know, mobile quarterback, can evade plenty of sacks. The dude does some magic in the pocket and getting out the pocket. So that's already a challenge in itself, like you said. This man completed 17 passes in 21 attempts, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, was only sacked once. James Conner, 21 carries, 122 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr., 4 receptions, 130 yards. This is a high-power offense, and it does scare me if I'm a Detroit Lions fan because, I mean, you played the Rams, you played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Neither of their offenses are as hot as the Arizona Cardinals right now. And like I said, bro, 40 points is a lot. So that's the part that really makes me a little bit nervous. And I think the game plan, I mean, you got to send different type of packages at Kyler Murray, man. It's going to be difficult to stop him. It's going to be difficult to throw him off his game a little bit, especially because he has James Conner and he has Marvin Harrison Jr. So it's going to be difficult to already shake that offense and break them down. But I will say, I have some confidence in the Lions because of who they have on that defense, but also it's going to be tough because the offense is going to have to come with it. Because if the defense slacks just a little bit, I mean, just a little bit, you're going to be playing catch up and you're going to have to come with it. And we cannot see those same mistakes. And one of the things I love that you said, championship teams can't make these silly mistakes. Championship teams, Super Bowl teams don't make these silly mistakes. And I see it every week in football. Sometimes these games are just decided by one or two mistakes that happen. So, it's going to be interesting to see. And I'm excited for it. And it's just tough, man. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough there. So anything you want to add on to that, to the Cardinals matchup?
Yeah, they just gonna have to bring their A game for this one. Again, the focal point coming in for the Lions was the offense was supposed to be the unit that they could lean on. They have the most veteran experience on that side of the football. Defensively is where they're youngest and most inexperienced at. They got a brand new kind of core at defensive line, adding in DJ Reader, bringing in Marcus Davenport, and then your secondary is basically brand new outside of Kirby Joseph. Yep. So to me, unfortunately, I don't want to pin this on them because if they do have a bad game, I'm not going to hate them because they've done pretty damn good for these first couple weeks. So if they're due for a bad game and if it's against Kyler Murray, it's going to suck based on the timing. But I'm going to hope that the offense can keep foot with them and score uptick to around 30-some points. It's going to have to lean on that offensive line. It's going to have to lean in the run game. Again, it's going to have to be an A-game performance because they're motivated. They're in a division where it's kind of open right now. I mean, San Francisco looks a little leaky. I don't see anybody really taking a stranglehold in the NFC West. So it's going to be tough at the top for them, and the Lions need to come prepared if they want any chance of getting off that road game with a win.
And, that's 100% true. And you mentioned different divisions, and I got to bring this up because, I was talking trash all offseason. I'm the main one. I'm saying, hey, the NFC North is up for grabs. Is the NFC North up for grabs? Because you mentioned Vikings. Hey, they've been winning some games. They beat the 49ers, which everybody found unbelievable. Packers, we know Jordan Love is coming back, but they've been taking care of business even without Jordan Love in these first 2 weeks. And then obviously you got the Bears still struggling to find their footing, but they escaped the win. Do you think it's still clear that the Lions have the advantage in the NFC North?
Yeah, on paper they do. A lot of these teams in the NFC North outside the Lions are kind of dealing with new talent or they're dealing with a major injury. Not having Jordan Love is going to be pretty, detrimental to them. Assuming they don't build any kind of momentum with Malik Willis. But, I like Chicago. I like some of the talent that they have. But, again, Caleb Williams is still showing some of those rookie mistakes. He's still showing it's going to take a little while to grow. And not having Keenan Allen is a big deal. He's always hurt a lot. And not having him for a rookie to support, that's pretty big for them. And I'm not buying Minnesota. I know they won 2 games, but with Sam Darnold under center, I'm not buying it. I think that's going to come down soon. I love Justin Jefferson. I love the talent that they have on that team. I love all the talent they have on that team, not named Sam Darnold. So as long as he's under center, I think the Lions should be respected and viewed as the class of that division. They just got to start playing like it because as of right now, they're underachieving, and that needs to stop.
Hey, now I'm going to hold you to it because when y'all see the Vikings, bro, oh my God, y'all better not lose. I'm going to say that if Sam Darnold win or lose, it don't even matter. If Sam Darnold outplayed Jared Goff, really if Sam Darnold outplayed Jared Goff, I'm going to be shocked. I'm making fun of him. I'm giving Jared Goff hell. I just want all Lions fans out there to know I will be the most annoying person on a mic if Sam Darnold outplays Jared Goff in whatever week y'all play. I will be the most annoying.
If that happens, Lions fans, PSA, listen to me right here. If he gets outplayed, Jared Goff chance, no more.
No more.
If you get outplayed by Sam Darnold, I don't ever want to hear Jared Goff ever again. Nowhere. Don't do it at Ford Field. Don't do it at U of M games, in Meyer in the store. Nowhere. Dead that if he gets outplayed by Sam Darnold. I mean that.
Is that at Meyer?
Bruh, anywhere. I don't want to hear it. Nowhere.
Hey, this is tough for me to admit. Since we're on the hate Jared Goff train right now. I did say Jared Goff was a top 5 QB. I know this is a crazy conversation, another conversation we could finish for another day because I don't want to hold you too long. But I did say Jared Goff is a top 5 QB. I still think that's true, but he's just got to play like it. And above all, I don't think it's anything for the Lions fans to overreact to. It was a good game. They made some mistakes. And the way I look at it, you rather get those mistakes out the way now rather than the back end of the season. So
Of course.
I still think it's a lot of hope. And there was some good things that we've seen. Yeah, we talked about the Lions and what they got to do better and all. But, I mean, like you mentioned, bro, the defense is impeccable so far. They played great. And we seen Hutchinson making a case for Defensive Player of the Year. So that's definitely great, too. So huge upside for the Detroit Lions. And above all, man, they just got to bounce back solid against the Arizona Cardinals, which is not going to be easy. I think we can agree on that. But hey, man, Eric, bro, let these people know where they can find you, where they can check out your work, where they can hear more of you, all of that stuff.
Appreciate you for having me, man. Always a pleasure, for real.
Of
Follow
course.
me on all social media at I am Eric Vincent. You can tap in with me online there. Check me out on Clutch Points. Again, I do coverage for the Detroit Pistons as we ramping up for the NBA season very soon. Detroit Lions coverage on there as well. Again, over at Clutch Points. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Top Title Sports. You can get all my content on there. See my face, see my videos, see my peoples on there. Covering some NBA, NFL, wrestling, hip hop, Kendrick Lamar praise, Drake slander, all that good stuff. You can check it on my channel, Top Title Sports. I got you.
Okay, bet. And then, bro, I ain't even ask you. Before you go, I'm going to cut this convo short because I know you seen your boy Kenny got the Super Bowl. Oh, that's crazy. How many times he going to perform They Not Like Us?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. That's how many times.
You think they
I'm
gonna let
ready
him
for
say
10
it?
times, bro.
You think-
I'm ready for 10 times.
You in the living room dancing? You turning
I'm
up to
going
it?
crazy. I got my chucks ready to go, bro. I'm ready. I got my elbows out. I'm with you, K-Dot. Let's get to it, baby.
Hey, I don't know if they gonna let him play it. I'm just saying. I think they'll let him, but in moderation. Like I don't think we get the whole song.
He gonna have to edit some stuff. He can't let certified what ring off like that. That's not gonna work.
Oh man. Hey, well look, man, y'all gotta tap in with my guy Eric Vincent, man. Clutch Points writer for Detroit Sports. Definitely all the Detroit fans, man. Y'all gotta follow his work, check him out. Super dope dude, super dope individual, and also great writer, great host as you see. Great to have on air, man. I gotta get you back up here, of course. But anyway, look,
Anytime,
man.
bro.
Yeah, definitely gotta get you back up here, especially as the basketball season roll around. Gotta talk about them Pistons and stuff. So we gonna bring you back for sure. As far as listeners, man, look, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to jump into some news. And we got some more stuff coming up, man. Monday Night Football is here. My Atlanta Falcons, it's time for them Dirty Birds to go ahead and get the win, bro. We got to go ahead, buckle up and get the lock in and win this ball game. Shock the world real quick, hopefully. Other than that, we'll be right back, man. It's halftime. All right, and news for the run. Starting off with some college football recap because there was a couple good games here and some games that were almost upsets. So Alabama, they put a hurting on Wisconsin, 42-10 in Wisconsin. Then you had Georgia, they escaped the upset against Kentucky. They ended up winning that game 13-12, but it was a close one. Then we saw Tennessee, they slapped up 71 on Kent State. 71 points on Kent State. Oregon, they beat down on Oregon State 49-14. Miami, they slapped up 62 against Ball State. It was a beatdown. Anyway, some of the games you can look forward to this upcoming weekend for college football. In the Big Ten, you got Michigan State versus Boston College. You'll also see Michigan versus USC, which is a well-anticipated game. You also have in the Big Ten, you can watch Northwestern versus Washington. A lot of people forget, Washington, hey, they are a Big Ten school now. But some of the other games you can watch, Bama, they have a bye week this week, so they're not going to be playing. But you can also watch the Louisville versus Georgia Tech game, UCLA versus LSU. That'll be a good game there. And then also Miami versus South Florida, Tennessee versus Oklahoma. That'll be definitely one to watch there, coming on almost in those prime time slots. Now, over in the NFL, man, we got some news going on, some injury updates that I want to give you guys. The Los Angeles Rams receiver Cooper Kupp, he's expected to miss an extended period of time due to his ankle injury he suffered in Week 1 against the Lions. Vikings, Justin Jefferson, he suffered a small quad injury in the game yesterday against the 49ers. Detroit Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown went down with the injury late game against the Buccaneers, but it's said to have only been cramps, so he'll most likely return to the field next week. And then Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco, he went down with the injury. And it's been reported that it was a fractured labia. So the latest of the sayings is that he'll miss at least 6 to 8 weeks with the Kansas City Chiefs. Then you got Deebo Samuel here. He's expected to miss an extended period of time against the game in the Vikings next week due to a calf strain that he suffered. But there's no specific time on when he'll return at the moment. And then just a couple games that happened too in the NFL, just in case you were paying attention, or even if you weren't paying attention, you might have been locked in on your team. I know a lot of people parlays got ruined because of some upsets that happened, but the Buffalo Bills smacked up the Dolphins, as we know. The Saints put a hurting on the Cowboys, which is crazy. The Buccaneers ended up beating the Lions, as me and Eric Vincent discussed. The Green Bay Packers, they escaped the loss against the Colts. 49ers lost to the Vikings. Sam Darnold had himself a game over there with the Vikings. You had the Chargers. They beat the Panthers. Browns beat the Jaguars. Cardinals beat the Rams, put up 41. Chiefs, they beat the Bengals by 1 point, 26-25. There's a controversial call there. Then you had the Texans and the Bears play in prime time, and we saw the Houston Texans end up defeating the Chicago Bears in prime time, which was a great game. However, I want to shift the attention over to the NFC South. We know Falcons are playing tonight. Also, there's a team out there in the NFC South, man, I'm kind of scared of. Not necessarily the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I'll be honest, bro. The New Orleans Saints, they deserve a lot of respect. Because the Saints, bro, they might be the biggest sleepers in the NFL, man. Their offense have been flowing. They scored 15 times in 15 possessions that they've had this season. And the last time they put anything close to 93 points in the first 2 games, they ended up playing in the Super Bowl. And this year so far in these first 2 games, they put up 91 points. So, I mean, the way the offense is looking, they looking like they trying to make a run for the Super Bowl right now. It looks like they took that, Lil Wayne ain't performing in the halftime show. Looked like they took that super personal. So, I just got to say, with the Saints, man, the run game has been on point. We know, obviously, Alvin Kamara, the dude is talented, but with Jameson Williams, like with him being there as well, like they have a lot of a diversity in the backfield there. But above all, this offense has really just showed us something that we didn't really expect, man. Derek Carr has been playing on another level. And obviously the defense has been playing on another level. And that defense is going to be crucial in these next few weeks and playing against all these other high-powered offenses. Because in this game against the Cowboys, I honestly didn't really think the Saints had much of a chance. I thought it was going to be close, but ultimately the Cowboys come in at home opener. They were 16-0 in the previous home games opening the season. So I'm like, okay, Cowboys gotta have some sort of advantage here. But that just did not matter at all, man. Jamal Williams, Alvin Kamara both dominated. And then the receiving core over there is very, very nasty. Chris Olave, you got Shaheed, man, you got Morel. Like, they got so much talent over there with the Saints. And, I'm going to say all this is just say, you keep an eye out for them, man. If you want to watch some good football, look at the New Orleans Saints and just look at what they've been doing, bro. They've been playing great so far. The only thing that could possibly hurt them down the line, knock on wood, is not even going to say it, but I mean, you had Tyrann playing great. Your defensive back group is solid in Lattimore. And then you got Kool-Aid, McKinstry. He's been playing great. Like, you got some guys in that secondary who not only can cover, but those guys can also come up and make a tackle if needed. And we've seen them do that. And then as the defense have been playing great, you got the offense slapping 40 points. 40 is a lot of freaking points to put up in a football game. I don't care who you're playing. I thought it was fluke against the Panthers, but I did say, I'm on record saying, 40 is a lot of points, so you can't underestimate them. And for them to go out here and put up 40 against the Rams, I know the Rams are beaten and bruised up already in week 2, but that's still tremendous work from them, man. That's tremendous work from them. So you got to give credit where it's due. And although I hate to see it coming from a Falcons fan, the New Orleans Saints, man, they look damn good. They look damn good right now. And I'm terrified going into week 4 to play the New Orleans Saints, because I think it's going to be in Atlanta, but it's just going to be a little scary. Anyway, look, man, I'm going to try and drop in some more info about the Atlanta Falcons and the Eagles. Y'all might get a late after game, post game reaction. Not gonna count on it. But anyway, y'all might get that. If anything, y'all see it tomorrow with the rest of the episodes and the rest of the pieces of the episode. But we're going to take a quick break or possibly an exit. We're going to leave it at that. But anyway, most likely we come in with the post-game recap because I got to let you know once the Falcons get the dub. But it'll be interesting because it's like right in the middle of the episode. So, all right, we'll be right back. Or we'll see you tomorrow or later on this week.